Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Hope y'all having a great weekend out there. We just watched the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Denver Broncos. So, guess what that means? The Colts are still alive.
Still in
We
there.
are still alive somehow. Usually, this is the time where we would have been done, cooked. But, anyways, we are still alive. How my guys doing? Got Zach and Trev here with me, man. How y'all boys doing tonight?
Chilling,
I'm
bro.
good, man.
Hell of a game. Hell of a game that just ended, keeping us alive for the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely shocked about it too, because
I,
there
I
was
was ready
several
to
times where I
accept it.
thought
Yeah,
most
just
of us, in the comments on the pages, spaces, everything. A lot of us thought we were done a few times in that game. So
who could
good to
blame
see that
us?
we are still alive.
What's up,
Let's
Chad? I
go
see
ahead
you're
and
back to be in the first comment. There you go.
There we go. Chad made it in there. But let's go ahead and jump right into last week's game, man. Colts keep their own playoffs alive, playoff hopes alive by handling business versus the Tennessee Titans, winning that game. I believe it was 38-31 was the final score, if I remember
38-30,
correctly. 38-30. Yeah. So, I know. Well, you weren't here last week, Trev, but Zach. You and Damon were pretty down on us, thinking that we might lose that game. You want to start us off, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. That's why I'm picking us to lose every game from here on out.
Bruh.
So, that's my superstition, bro. I pick us to lose and we win.
All right,
I got to
enough.
pick us to lose. I got to pick us to lose every game from here on out, just so until we lose, then I can be like, I told y'all so. But if we win,
0-17
I
next
ain't
year,
mad.
right? 0-17
Yeah,
next year?
0-17.
All right.
If that's what it takes to get Ballard fired, 0-17, bro. 0-17, and we won't make the playoffs or win the Super Bowl. We might go 17-0, make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. Like, that's my mindset with this. No, but I thought we looked really well, really well. I thought we looked really good last week. I think JT heard the noise.
Yeah.
I heard from the Trenches podcast that he took it personal, pulled a Michael Jordan, and took it personal and ran all the way out the stadium and proved a point that he had to remind everybody he's still one of the best backs in the league. That's sad. We got to remind you, bro. I expect that every week. Like, you're a dog. I need you to see it, every week. I want more. I'm greedy. I want that performance every week if that's doable. Like,
or at
dude,
least
put
part
on a
of
show.
it, right? Like that was my biggest thing watching the game. I mean, granted, he made it a freaking track meet. Like, good for him, good for us. But
right,
God, like, where has that been? All he's had good games. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was still, I believe, right below 1,000 yards going into that game, or right at it. So like, it wasn't like JT's just been dog shit or anything. Like, he's been fine, but I don't know. You always expect him to kick it up that extra level, and he just hasn't really been able to this year for whatever reason, the O-line injuries, whatever. But finally, last week, we see JT do what we know he can do, and that's the reason we paid him, extended him everything. So, hopefully Shane really sees that as well and kind of makes that an emphasis moving forward and moving into next year. Like, this is our guy. We're going to run the fucking ball and let AR profit off of that by not having to throw 30, 35 times a game, right? That's how we're built. It makes perfect sense.
Like
11 passes.
I'm going to say, he threw like the ball 11 times. Perfect, homie. And
That's
he ran
fine.
the ball like 6.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if it's old school, if it looks bad, if it's not what Colts fans want. As long as we win, I don't care. Like, I'm to that
or at
point.
least I agree, as long as we win, whatever. But at least until he's at the point where he can regularly take over the game and be that franchise quarterback that we believe he can be, what's wrong with that, man? Like, run the damn ball. Like, that was our best offensive output of the season, the best we looked all year. Granted, the defense kind of, as Chad says, took their foot off after the half and kind of made it a game again. But all in all, right, offensively, probably our best performance just running through them the entire game. So lean on that, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, to Zach's point, we've been asking for that most of the season, and I wouldn't say it's all on JT. A lot of that, we've been coming back to this podcast and questioning Shane and saying, "Hey, why the hell are we not running the ball?" So it's good that we actually got to see us follow through and keep running the ball. To Chad's point as well, looks like the D took their foot off the gas, but I think everybody on the team did. It's kind of one of those points where we thought that the game might pretty much over. Tennessee might mail it in, just kind of call it.
Credit to them, they kept fighting.
Credit to Tennessee, they fought back. They fought their way back, and I think Shane spoke about it before and said he's talked to some coaches and people across the league. Like when you're up after 30 or up 30 at halftime, at what point are you just like what do we do here? Are we still? Because you start playing too aggressive, you may make some mistakes to let a team back in. And then on defensive side, if you just kind of take your foot off and just kind of let up, then you let a team come back and eat their way back into the game. I think Zaire Franklin also spoke to it. I can't remember which game it was or what they were talking about, but he said one of the hardest things to do in the NFL is to play with a big lead with time still left. So it was good to see that we closed it out because I got to a point where I thought we were going to run it up, kind of get up to 50 and whatnot. And then I knew it was kind of over. And then we let Tennessee back in, so it was good to see that we were actually able to close it, especially the defensive stop there. And then also AR made a couple good plays on that last offensive drive to get some time off the clock as well.
You know what was interesting too is like, granted, like we said, they let their foot off the gas, they let them back in the game. You don't want to see that, but it is interesting that when's the last time we even saw the Colts have that kind of lead, have that big of a lead at halftime or really at any point. Like we're always in these dog fights, these 1-score games back and forth, or we're down big, right? Like I don't even remember the last time we've been up that big for any period of time.
Since Rivers.
Yeah. Or since the Minnesota collapse, right?
Yeah.
Like that might have been legitimately the last time we had a lead like that. So it's again, yes.
Yeah, most of the time we carry like 10-point leads.
And that's like a good game for us. So it's just good to see that we can even build a lead in the first part. So now it's all about maintaining that, right? Now we can approach it like, hey, we got a lead. Let's figure out how we close games out from that point, right? If we don't have to be in a dogfight every week, let's figure out how we can kill teams off. And these next 2 weeks should be a good opportunity for that.
I mean,
I got you, Antoine. I see you down there. Go ahead, Zach.
This week is a perfect example. Like if you can't come out and step on the neck of the Giants, and what are we doing?
Yeah. They're asking you to do it.
Yeah.
They want to lose.
Yeah. They're
not the players, not the coaches probably, but that franchise wants to lose because they want Shedeur Sanders or whoever at number 1, right? So let's send them to New York, dude. Let's make sure that happens for them.
Like Colts have no business not coming out tomorrow and handling their business. I mean, I was discussing with DeMarco, that's part of my frustration with this coaching staff and with the front office is like 1 week the Colts will come out and look really good and play really solid. And then the next week it's just we look like dog trash and we play like dog trash. We're so inconsistent.
Carry it week to week.
Right.
Yeah.
There's never any consistency. And I truly
my response to him was that I haven't seen us play a good game all year.
Right.
Oh, really?
I mean, either the defense plays incredible and the offense does nothing, or the offense plays great and our defense has all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
And then we barely pull it out because, hey, we scored 40 and they scored 32. It's literally like that. There is no Colts don't know how to win ugly yet because they don't play consistent enough. So.
Yeah, exactly, man. So it was one of those things for me where I was just more excited because even back in the day, if you think about our glory days that we had with Peyton Manning, a lot of our games would look just like that. We'd build up a huge lead, start letting the team come back because we either can't get to the pass or they just got to throw the ball like crazy and we start making mistakes on the back end. So for me, it was pretty much I thought it was great that we got the big lead because I thought it would be a game like Zach, you were here. I told you and Damon, I thought it was going to be 17-13 just because we were going to kind of be sluggish and just kind of, beat a team that we were supposed to beat. But, I was never above saying like we're absolutely just going to go out there and dominate. So I thought it was good to be able to put up the points that we did and to be able to close it out. So I wasn't too mad about it. I just want to see us win. I think that like anybody who wants to see the Colts tank and want to see us lose, I think that's part of the problem, dude. We got this losing culture where every year at the end of the year it comes down to winning and we just lose. And so I could care less about who it's against. Obviously, we have an easier path right now this year. This is one of those years. This is the year that we should be able to take care of it. We got to be able to build a winning culture at some point. So, I mean, if we're going to keep holding on to Ballard, I would rather hope at some point we can show that we're going to be able to win some goddamn games that matter. So that was the biggest thing for me.
And even just looking at the path, like everyone knows we need a little help. Like I believe we need Denver to lose out, lose next week and everything. We can't have the Bengals, Chargers win, et cetera, whatever. But even with all that,
just need a Denver loss and our win now.
Okay. Even with that, right? You don't want to be the reason you don't make it. So if we can handle our business and we don't get in because Denver was able to win or what have you, like, all right, fair enough. We should have played better in the season. We should have beat Denver, right? but at least you can like end the season on a strong note. Hopefully, build a little bit of momentum, a little bit of winning mentality, as you were talking about going into next year. Because it's like you said, man. Like it's been several years now where we look at being able to win when it matters, and we can't do it. Like it's on the Colts. It's on
every time.
Gardner Minshew rolling out and throwing a 4th and 1 to Tyler Goodson, and we can't get it. Shit like that, right? So it's always us doing it to ourselves.
Losing to a 2-win Jacksonville Jaguar team. So let's not make it seem like just because we got some bad opponents on our schedule that we just take care of.
We haven't been able to in the past. So if we can just roll through as we should, as we know we should be able to, then that it is a slight sign of improvement. It's still not where we want to be. We want to be better, but it is a sign of improvement that we can finally start to take care of some business. So
absolutely,
yeah, I don't want to lose either, man. I hate when people talk like that.
Nathan is saying here, IDK, if I like Flacco against the Giants, I'm gonna just say this right here. I don't care who we got against the Giants. I don't care if Jason Bean is playing against the Giants, bro. If we cannot beat the New York Giants, I'm not talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a whole nother week. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are much better than the Giants.
Divisional, yeah.
But if we cannot beat this New York Giants team, I mean, they are terrible.
They are trying to lose.
I mean, outside of their pass rushers and Malik Neighbors, they are. And Tracy, I'm forgetting his last name, but their running back Tracy. Outside of them, they don't have much, and they are trying to lose. So I
obligate them.
I'll leave it there. I mean, I don't care who we got. Just beat the goddamn Giants, bro.
Yeah. Also, too, like this is a good test for Shane, I guess, because we just saw how we can turn a game into a track meet with Jonathan Taylor. So if you turn around and just because Joe Flacco's in, you throw the ball 42 times, it better be 40 completions, bro. That's all. It better be 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, because otherwise, what are we doing, bro? Like Joe Flacco should have damn near the same stat line as they are last week. We don't need to throw the ball. Run them over. Run them over all day.
I want to add one more thing. I didn't know if you were going to chime in on this one, Zach, but I just want to say also, the Giants, I believe, are 31st in the NFL in rushing defense. They also have Saquon Barkley coming up for week 18, who they do not want to let break the rushing record. So there is absolutely no reason that this terrible Giants team is even worried about Indianapolis. Plus, they're trying to keep the first round pick or the number 1 overall pick. So just run the damn ball, bro. Flacco throw the ball 10 times. Get out of there with a good win. Nobody get hurt. Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it. Like if JT's not tired, we didn't run him enough. Like I want him exhausted. I know that sounds terrible, but like
no, run his ass. We pay him.
Ice them knees up, cold tub it.
You gonna have
shots of Toradol, do whatever you got to do after a game. But like if JT's not like, man, I carried the ball 35 times a game, I earned my $8 million or however much it is the Colts are paying him, then
we did it wrong.
We're not doing it right.
We're not doing it right.
Simple as that. Michael Timko is saying, appreciate you coming in. It looks like a new commenter. So if you have been here before, I do apologize, but appreciate you coming in. He says, Happy New Year's, guys. Let's go Colts. Forgot to say that at the beginning. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Also my guys here on the show. And Happy New Year to everybody that's coming up here as well. So appreciate you coming in there, Michael. Ash says, what's up, guys? Talking about AR's back spasms. Because Anthony Richardson has been ruled out versus the New York Giants for anybody that wasn't aware. And that's where that came from. Chad is saying here, do you think Sermon will get more playing time, taking a load off of JT? But yeah, he definitely needs to be running the ball like last week. I think we just got into this. Like Zach said, I think it needs to be in the 28 to 35 carries range. Flacco throw the ball probably a few times. I didn't see, was Alec Pierce ruled out?
No. I haven't seen anything about concussion.
Not ruled out.
I'll have to check. I haven't seen if he's been released from that. But again, I don't have too much for this. I think we got into it a bit, but I just think it needs to be a big run the damn ball game.
Yeah, 100%. And just as far as Trey Sermon goes, I don't remember when his contract is up. Is it after this year?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like. Yeah, I haven't seen enough to feel like we have any kind of a stable with him. You know what I mean? Like I'm still looking for a backup
This
running
is-
back with Jonathan Taylor.
Bro, this is the second year in a row where we have a running back draft class where we can find a number 2, bro.
Get a dog.
If we don't do it, I'm about to be so irritated.
And,
You don't even need to
just real
draft
quick
one in
too,
this running back class.
there's so many, bro. That
There's
you can
so
get a guy
many.
in the 5th
Oh my
round.
You
God,
can
dude.
probably,
Who can probably be
get a
better
good
than
one
Trey
who's
Sermon.
undrafted, bro.
Yeah,
Like
there's
if
a lot
you
of
know
good
what you're
ones.
looking for, this draft class and running back is so deep. Like I feel like the NFL is starting to hit a cycle again where
I
the
agree.
running back is going to come back in full swing and teams are going to have to pay a running back again. Because if you look at these running backs that are coming out now, there's so much talent. I would argue that running back is probably the most athletic position on offense.
Oh, I agree.
And then like they're going to use you 100 million different ways now in college, from catching the ball to running the ball to blocking to any which way. That these guys are basically coming out after a redshirt year and 2 years as a starter, NFL ready. Like,
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that too, because I do feel like the like you talk about the positional value and everything. Like,
yeah,
I think running back is all the way back. First of all, you see the deals that Saquon, Derrick Henry, the deal that we gave to Jonathan Taylor. Good running backs, even
Will
ones
get
that have
paid.
kind of struggled to stay healthy, if they're productive, they're going to get paid. And I think that's only fair, right? And then you see teams drafting guys like Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round, which hadn't happened for a while prior to that, right? So I think that position is all the way back. I love it. It's good for football. And there's so many good running backs available that if we go into next year with another guy like Trey Sermon as our backup, our number 2, and we're happy with it, we messed something up because there's a lot of weapons available that could go crazy with our run game.
Absolutely. David saying Minnesota for what we were talking about, big leads we had.
Yeah. How'd that one end?
Okay. Looks like we got a couple QB questions here, so I'll get to both of them. We got Nathan saying, with AR out tomorrow, does that mean Bean will be emergency QB tomorrow, with Sam being backup? And then Colts fan Antoine is saying, never mind. He's talking about the podcast. How we feel about Flacco tomorrow. So first one for Nathan, I believe Bean would be the emergency QB. So yeah, there's that. Don't think or hope that we should even get to that point.
That would not be good.
And then about Flacco, I feel good about Flacco because this is not the same situation before that we had. This brings me back to like when Anthony Richardson went out versus the Steelers. I think I think Flacco is a viable backup. I think this should be enough to get us over the hump. This is what we pay him for. So, I don't think the Giants are all that good. Obviously, they got a defensive line that could kind of muck up the game for us. But their offense has been terrible. Drew Lock hasn't looked good. We obviously know the Colts sometimes can make some guys look like Hall of Famers. So I would pray that we wouldn't let ourselves get to that point. But I do think Flacco should be just fine to get us through enough. It looks like everybody pretty much was a full participant in practice outside of Big Q, who was limited practice on Thursday and Friday, but hasn't been ruled out, and everybody else is there. Alec Pierce has no designation as well, so I think he should be clear to play. So deep ball will be there and play. So, as long as our offensive line do what they're supposed to do, I think Flacco will be okay, and so will we.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying earlier too. Like it almost, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it shouldn't matter, right? When we just saw what we were able to do last week, and this team is even worse in the running defense. Just run the damn ball, man. Just feed Jonathan Taylor to let him go crazy. Give Sermon a couple, give Goodson a couple, run all day. If Flacco throws more than 15 times, I'm wondering what the hell we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it is, if Flacco's throwing the ball and they're not complimentary of the Colts offense, play action, screens, quick game, then we're obviously using Flacco in the offense the wrong way. So am I confident? Sure, just because of the quality of opponent.
Yeah.
But do I enjoy watching Flacco compared to AR? Hell no. Like,
it's going to be a boring game.
It's going to be boring simply because of who the quarterbacks are. Because Flacco makes everything boring and doesn't really know how to compete. He's a selfish kind of player, and he wants it about him. So I fully expect him to, at least make one or two throws that are boneheaded and piss everybody off for whatever reason. But yeah, in my opinion, the Colts should have no problem tomorrow with Giants, regardless of who the quarterback is, as long as they stick to the run game.
They are trying to lose.
Yeah, I mean it's for real. I just spoke to Zach about this one off the air. This one, I swear, this one kind of hurts me, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Man,
So Terrell Hubbard is saying, "I hope the Colts lose out." And man,
what, bro?
We're not picking top 5. We're not picking top 3. We're not playing for number 1 overall.
No.
Pick, man. If Joe Flacco was our starter for the long-term future, then sure, I'd be all in on losing out because it's for the betterment for the Colts. Losing out, I just don't understand how you guys can put on your jerseys or cheer for the Colts or watch the games or anything and not just be a fan. When I became a fan of this team back watching Peyton Manning when I was a little kid, it was cheering on the players that I loved, seeing the logo, seeing these guys play. I am a fanatic, die hard. I always want my team to succeed. So unless losing out is going to get us somewhere, I just don't understand how people could want to sit here and see their team lose out, man. I want to see the Colts win regardless. Even if we win out both games and don't make the playoffs, it is what it is. And yes, I mean, I know people want Ballard fired. I want Ballard fired as much as anybody, but I'd much rather get into the playoffs than be sitting here going into the offseason, not making the playoffs, and then you lose to the Giants and the Jags to even go home, and you're supposed to sit there and be happy with your team. I just my bad, Trev. I just don't get it from people. It just hurts me to sit here and I really, to be honest, like people that think like this, I couldn't sit next to you and cheer on the Colts because I would not feel right. I just don't understand it. I'm a fanatic. I love my team. I want to see them succeed. Like I don't see why you want your team to lose if it's not losing for a top pick.
That's why I wanted to butt in too. Just as far as the picks go, man, like I just put up the rankings just to look at it. So right now, as it stands at 7-8, we'd be the 13th overall pick. If we lose out, the highest we could go, provided that the 49ers don't pass us up, would be 11th. It'd be 11th.
Oh, it's 11th? I thought it was 10th. I was like, we get 10th pick.
No, not even, because the New Orleans Saints are 5-9. There's no way that we could be unless they won out and we lost out, then maybe whatever. But okay, so even that, right? So you want to lose out, pretty much just make it a joke out of the franchise to move up 3 picks. It's not going to make a difference, bro. Like at that point, especially when we're not even like a quarterback needy team, we're not in that position where 1 or 2 picks might make a huge difference. It doesn't matter.
Can I answer this next question about Kyle McCord and this offense that he plays at Syracuse?
Oh, you sure please? Did you have anything? Colts lose out one?
Oh man, if the Colts lose, I want them to at least try hard. Like I'm not here to obviously see them lose games. Like
exactly, dude.
But like at the same time,
for no gain.
Right? There's no gain.
If the first pick was up in the air and we knew we weren't making the playoffs.
And then, you know what? And to even make this point worse, imagine we lose out and we still keep Ballard. Then it's you just wanted your own team to be miserable.
Which is like 95% what I believe is going to happen. If it happens at all.
I just need the lose out crew, the lose out crowd to understand there are 9 teams in the league right now that have 4 or less wins. We're not getting above them.
You gotta come into the year saying lose out, and then maybe I might be a little bit different. But let me go ahead and read this off for you guys here. So Paul Nelson is saying, "Hey guys, listen. I don't want to see every fan talking about other teams getting us into the playoffs. We need to come to terms that Ballard is done. I'm hoping Kyle McCord gets picked up by us in the 2nd or 3rd round of the draft. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy we're still alive."
Paul. I also want Ballard out, but I just don't believe it's going to happen. Not with Shane and AR being connected for as long as they're connected. I feel like Ballard's going to get canned when the AR ship truly fails, and that's next season. Or Shane's going to get canned if it fails next season. If it doesn't fail, then, Ballard has 9 lives. So, like, if the Colts get in the playoffs this year, there's no way in hell you're getting rid of Ballard. If the Colts don't get in the playoffs this year, then you can evaluate that question. But I still think there's a chance he comes back next year, and it's still the GM. As for Kyle McCord, are you infatuated with him as a passer over one good year at Syracuse? Or is it the offense that he plays in? That air raid, crazy Freddie Brown, whatever the hell it is, coach of Syracuse offense. Because, like,
it's not our offense.
Like, the Kyle McCord that I watched at Ohio State was terrible. Trash. And, like, awful. So, like, good for him that he had one good year. I'm just curious in your infatuation, like, if he's the guy and the Colts make that pick and say, hey, he's our backup of the future, I'll cheer for him, obviously. You know, he's wearing the horseshoe. Cool. I just want to know what your infatuation is with it.
Zach, hold on before you go, Trevor, real quick. He added in another note here. What do you think about Kyle McCord as the backup if the AR project doesn't stand the test of time? Is basically. I think he's saying that he thinks Kyle McCord would be a good guy for us to pick up, be a backup, and develop behind AR just in case this whole project doesn't work out.
My only question is he any better than Ehlinger, who doesn't play already? Because, like, they're similar in college, bro. Ehlinger was lights out of Texas, and then a complete nobody in the pros. So, like, that's where I question, like, is McCord any different than anybody else? Like, I haven't watched any Syracuse, so I'm coming at this truly like, I don't know. Like, I don't watch
He played well. He had a good year. Kyle McCord played well this year.
He played a damn good year. He broke Deshaun Watson's passing record.
My question is, he plays in an air raid. So is it the offense that he comes from, or is it him actually being that dude?
I think it's some of the. I think it's the defenses that he's playing against.
Part of it too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my problem with it, Paul, and I appreciate where you're thinking of, like, if this fails, we need a backup plan. I understand, but then the problem is, if you're already going into this next draft and using, as you said, a second or third round pick to get another quarterback, you're not committed to the AR project as it is. So you're already planning, hey, he's not going to last much longer. Let's just go ahead and get the replacement in here, who is already, as we said, in my opinion, a hit or miss. He might be a guy, he might not. It's hard to say. Probably a high end third round pick. Sure, that's fair, but we're not really committed to AR being the guy and committed to being a winning team if we're taking a guy like that in the third round when we could be drafting a guy who could immediately impact the team or help us win in some other areas, like a position of need, like a DB, a tight end, whatever, right? So no, that's where I disagree with you. I don't want to take a quarterback there. I'm not against getting a quarterback 6th, 7th round if we have to, but like we've had this discussion just as a podcast in our group chat and stuff. Is like, I'm tired of caring who the backup is when we're just focused on the guy, you know, and AR is supposed to be the guy. I feel like I've seen enough to, you know, be comfortable going into next year. Sam as the backup, I don't really give a damn because if AR goes down, then the year's probably over anyway. But no, I can't get behind spending a second or third round pick on a guy who
to me
could be all right.
Defensively, there's too many holes to be worrying about backup quarterback. Yeah, like that's just where I'm at. Like defensively, we're too slow. We don't have legit safeties, and we don't have a true shutdown corner, and we don't have enough depth on the defensive line.
We don't have enough consistent playmakers.
Right. There's just not enough. There's not enough there. Now, if the Colts make a trade and they get an extra second round pick, and you know the next GM is like Paul is and sees the natural talent, the natural instinct that is McCord, and actually put that time in and wants to take that leap of faith, and they draft him and he wears the horseshoe. Hey, I'm all for that. When he gets his chance and he makes the opportunity, I'm all for that. I'm not going to sit here and
I don't want no one to get their chance.
Right.
No.
Bash a guy I don't know and haven't watched anything about.
Yeah.
But
I'm not bashing.
You know, like
the key part of what Zach said there was, though, he said the next GM.
Yeah.
That's the only person who should be thinking about
they're going to want their
guy.
Right.
So that's
because Ballard, I don't believe as long as AR and Shane are here as quarterback, Ballard's not going anywhere. Like this is Ballard's swan song.
Yeah, probably.
In my opinion, this needs to be the year that Ballard breaks all continuation of what he normally does. This needs to be the year to go all in, get everything we need in the draft, find true playmakers, add a couple key free agents. This has to be the year that he shows that this was the right plan, the right move. Yeah. It's been 8 years. You took 7 years to finally get a quarterback. Like this next year needs to be the year to show what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Chad, what's the faces for? I didn't see him at the time. What are we talking about? Nathan is saying here, Pierce is good.
Hey, we
Josh is
fought for
saying,
Pierce on this show for a couple years, bro. I just want to say.
Plenty of times.
You
Joshua Merchant. Joshua Merchant is saying here, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Appreciate you, Josh. Nathan is saying here, we lose every running back. Goodson, Colts own rights over him. Every other back besides JT is a free agent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it should be easy just to draft one. I mean, there's so many in this draft.
Let
Could have
them
got
all
one last year. Just get that done, man. Get us an explosive backup for JT. Michael is saying here, Flacco is a big time backup. He's not here to start. He'll be dropping dimes tomorrow. That's exactly what I expect. I expect it to be a smooth, easy game for Flacco. I expect it to be a lot like the Jacksonville Jaguars game that first time we played. Outside of him taking that strip sack fumble before halftime, hopefully. But I think that it should be, 34 points. It should look real smooth, efficient. Should look like a pretty good team. David saying here, only disappointed that AR isn't playing as he needs reps last few weeks. I believe we have seen progress. Absolutely. And many of the haters, the plenty of the people that are in the tank group because they're ready for us to get a new, head coach or quarterback or whatever. I think there has been a lot of progression. I think we've seen much better play from him. I think we've seen much better play call from Steichen as well. I thought last week was very showing of Steichen for him to go 7 of 11. I know it's only a small platter of passes there.
I don't care.
But what I thought it was is I saw short and easy completions. Get them in the rhythm. And then we ran the hell out of the ball, which we should have been doing all year because that's the type of team that we are. I think if there was any team that game plan that we used versus Tennessee last week should have been for, it should have been that Green Bay Packers team week 2. That's what I was expecting versus them that week. So, Dave, totally agree. I think we've seen progress. But I think this year 3, AR finally gets a healthy offseason. I think it needs to be the year we see him turn it up to another level because he's seen it. He's done it. He knows what to go work on now. I think this is make or break for everybody after that.
Yeah.
But, yes, I'm also disappointed that that's the only reason I'm disappointed, the fact that he's not getting the reps.
Yeah, it's not even so much the results of these games as much as I know I just said we need to win, we should win, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, for me, I totally agree. I wanted to see our play because that's the biggest thing going into next year. And that's what we need to see next year as well. As we saw a lot of 50-50 games from AR this year where it's like he'd win some, he'd lose some, he'd have a couple moments of brilliance, a couple moments of what the hell are you doing, right? All the way to the point where he got benched and then back out, right? So next year can't be like that with AR.
Well, I don't think it will be. I don't think it will.
I don't either, but that's what I'm trying to get. Is like next year we have to see that consistency.
It's a pretty obvious sauce. It's a secret sauce that he has going in. He's got a full off season where he's healthy. He can practice. He can get those reps in. Like he's not rehabbing a shoulder. He's gonna have full off. He's gonna have a full off season to not only physically do what he needs to do to get his throwing motion right and to get better and get those reps,
but also
right. But also build chemistry with guys like AD, who's making business decisions, and our terrible group of tight ends and all that stuff. Like,
no, he don't need to do anything with those guys. Get them the fuck us. Keep them away. Keep them away from Anthony Richardson.
What I'm saying is, he's going to have that time to build those relationships. Something he didn't have last year because he was rehabbing.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I mean. This is technically, if you think about it, his first year. He didn't have an offseason.
Fully agree.
And last year, he didn't have an offseason because he was coming off of reconstructive shoulder surgery. And this year, he has an offseason. So this is his biggest, most natural leap. This is where I say, as the season starts, by the bye week, if the bye week's week 8, week 9, if it's a later bye week, we will know what type of quarterback we have midway through the season.
Yeah.
If AR is
I wouldn't say
or not, Because
I wouldn't say midway through the year, because if you do think back, like, right, so AR has officially played 13 games in the NFL now.
he'll have
And
20
if y'all remember back, I said about week 10 is where we should start seeing a little bit more of the transition.
Right.
We've seen that after week 10, where it's been less of the aired mail throws or less of the bad plays, the terrible plays.
It has been better. Yeah,
it has been better as far as progressing and getting better.
We'll be able to
I do agree to your
what type
point.
of quarterback we have in AR.
Exactly.
I think by midpoint next year, we'll be able to say, all right, he's the guy of the future, or he's the guy, hey, he's an okay quarterback, but he needs help, or is he a guy that elevates everyone around him? We'll be able to tell who that is at some point next year. And then we'll truly be able to determine, oh, shit, time to truly rebuild and draft a guy, or, oh, hey, a couple more, maybe one more year, and AR's that guy. That's the thing. He's a first-round pick. So he's always going to get that benefit of the doubt, whether we like it or not. I mean, there's some bums that are first-round picks still in the league. Someone talking about Carson Wentz. He's still in the league. I mean, so, like, he's going to hang around. So, like, I'm not off the AR bandwagon, but I also refuse to jump to conclusions that AR is a bust. Let's go out and draft a dude. It's still too early. It's still too early.
No, see, the only reason I differ is I'm not saying that we need a new guy or anything, but I just mean, like, the midway point in the season to me would be taking too long, just because typically you'll see quarterbacks slump in year 2, and he'll be officially in year 2 about week 3 to 4. So that's where I want to see the major difference that you were just discussing. I want to see by week 3 or week 4. Is this the guy that we saw in college? Because he didn't have anything. He didn't have the stats. Right. He didn't have the play that wowed you. He didn't. We did everything based off of what he could be.
Yeah.
I need to officially see by week 3 or week 4.
He can do those things.
It's like he can give me a 300-yard passing game. He can give me 150-yard rushing. He can give me 4 consistent 70-yard touchdowns, whether it be through the air or with his legs. I just want to be able to see it to be on a consistent basis now, so we can sit here and say, when we thought of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, what those guys were and what they ended up becoming, I see that in Anthony Richardson. And if we're going to hang on to him, by the time we get to year 3 or year 4, if we're still down the same road, I should be saying I got a goddamn MVP on my hands.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see, the progression by week 3 to 4 of next year, saying, okay, we did the right thing. Because if it still looks like, the 47% and obviously that's not totally his fault, just because of a lot of the throwaways and stuff that he's had to do, drops and stuff like that. So obviously people around him got to look good. But I think he showed me this year. He showed me even in those games where he'll be at 30% or 40% that he could still be a difference maker if dudes around him would just catch the ball and stuff like that. So now I just want to see it consistently and it get bigger.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up freaking Josh Allen and Lamar too, because what we saw with both of those guys' progression early on in their careers, they had the big plays, they had the moments, but they
were great in college.
And they were great in college, but they couldn't consistently do it, right? They couldn't drive the field, they couldn't make the reads. This is the next step for AR, right?
I'm going to say
him make the big play moments, but now we need to see him be able to put drives together, manage games, make the small things, right?
This is where I believe that AR is more similar to Lamar than he is Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen year 2 had a crazy accuracy. Like, his accuracy got better overnight. I don't know if that was Daboll. I don't know if that was Ken Dorsey. I don't know what that was. But
that was the arm people that he went to go work with. So the same
Tom House.
Bring him to Indy, bro.
No, the arm mechanics place. Anthony Richardson has already did it. So if you watch his arm mechanics, arm mechanics are good. So that's what Josh Allen did.
I don't know what that was, but I just look at Lamar and how Lamar really didn't start spinning that thing until year 3 when he's won his MVP. Mm-hmm. When he truly got the footwork to go with the arm angle, and then truly started to really able get in what is the defense and break it down and manipulate it, is when dude won his MVP. And he was still using his legs. He was still balling. But, you couldn't just put 8 men in the box because,
because he can throw now too.
Right. You had to respect it. And that's where I feel like, again, this is where you guys were griping about a tight end for so long. Bro had, Mark Andrews, and then they go out and give him Isaiah Likely. So if you're the Colts, you go out and you get him a tight end.
Give him a safety blanket.
And then you go out and you get him another, even like me, I wanted a vet. You go out and get a quality vet. And then you draft Johnson. You go out and draft another tight end as well. You give him 2 solid options.
Give me Juwan Johnson and Tyler Warren, and that room is on fire.
Sure. Whatever it is. I just look at it like I think AR's development, if he is a dog and if he is that dude and he does take that next step, it's all hypothetical. I truly believe it's more so like Lamar Jackson than it is a Josh Allen.
Sure.
Because Josh Allen is a freak. He's one of one. I can't describe how his development is. Statistically, AR is more like Josh Allen than he is Lamar. Just completion percentage and crap like that from what I've seen. But development-wise, I think he'll be more like Lamar Jackson than he will be Josh Allen in the steps.
Exactly. And to your point, I think Anthony Richardson would even have a little bit more help than those guys did as far as weapon goes.
Sure.
I know the Buffalo Bills did go get him Stephon Diggs. So Josh Allen's a little bit of an outlier there, but he also had
Lamar had Rashard Bateman.
Lamar still doesn't have help, bro.
It was Lamar.
Except for Derrick Henry.
And he had J.K. Dobbins that kept getting hurt. JT will have AR will have Pittman and Downs with him, and then if AD can develop. So yeah, exactly. So you're on good points there, Zach. I just want to see it a little bit earlier because I still want us to be able to be in the playoff hunt, and our schedules aren't going to always be garbage to where we should, be able to make playoff runs. So I want to see him get a little better, and that does not excuse any of this roster. I think this roster needs to get better as well. So that's
right.
100% where the GM is. As you're saying, why don't we have Sammy in? I'm gonna just keep it short for you. He's not that good. I remember when we were 2-11 in 2011. We were 2-14 that year.
Do you want better?
I was numb.
Chad is saying here, who do you think should be the next GM and could be?
Who do you think should be and could be? You guys don't like my answer.
Go ahead.
So there's an assistant GM in Philadelphia.
Man,
I know.
Here we go.
Trying
to be the damn Eagles, bro.
I know.
I know.
I already know y'all were gonna say that.
I'm tired of being the Indianapolis Eagles. Indianapolis Eagles.
Go ahead.
It's the Indianapolis Eagles or the Philadelphia Colts, however you choose to say it. If not, there's also a guy down in Tampa Bay who I like, Jason Lights. Assistant GM.
Yes.
I think his name's like Spytech or whatever the heck his name is.
That's what I want.
I mean, those are the two big names. There's some dude from the Pittsburgh Steelers who I've seen passed around.
Yeah.
And then, believe it or not, another guy from the Kansas City Chiefs who's the assistant GM to Leach that I've seen passed around too as potential next guys up. And then, as corny as this sounds, Ed Dodds, former Balor's right-hand man, is also being, hey, you foul it. We fired Ballard. Me too.
I'm out on Dobbs. If he was that good, he would already had a GM job. So
I don't think he wants to leave.
And then they're from the same camp. They got the same philosophy. I just feel like if we change to Dobbs, it'd just be a scapegoat situation, and he'd just be doing the same thing.
I will say to that point though, Trev, I think it could be a little bit different because if he could watch Ballard so closely, he could see where he's failed and succeeded.
That's fair.
Fair.
See, part of me feels like this is also Ursay. Like Ursay wanted 100%. The guy who plays that zone defense. Like Ursay hated.
I don't know if Ursay cares about.
I do. Okay. I do. Just like Jerry Jones, wants to play that explosive, crazy ass offense in Dallas where they're throwing deep shots and all that stuff. That's all Jerry Jones. I definitely feel like Ursay's that same way. He wants to play that Tampa 2 zone, boring defense, bend but don't break, and then have an explosive offense because that's what he did.
Jerry is the GM though, so he's directly making those changes and stuff like that.
I think Ursay just loves
Ursay is just. I think Ursay just really wants to see great offense and win. That's what he remembers from the Colts days.
He almost don't give a damn about the defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just my opinion, Zach. I'm not trying to totally shoot yours down. I just think it's a different situation.
You're fine. Yeah. I just want to see the Colts run the ball and play hard and play like physical downhill
That's the way we're built. I wish we would play that way.
Bro,
literally.
Physical,
Blueprint is there.
physical
Oh my
defense.
God, dude.
Like
Yeah.
I hate this zone stuff. I want the Colts to come out and play man.
Give me some Bob
34,
Sanders action, dude.
4-3. I don't care the front and just blitz
Or some
all
fumbles,
night.
knock some
Yes.
heads off. Man.
Yes,
Bro, Darius
love to
Leonard
see
in his heyday, bring him back, man. I wish.
Oh
If he
my
had a
God.
If he didn't have a bad
But
back,
guys like that, yeah.
I'm telling you, we had such a core, dog. If we could have got a quarterback
fell apart.
back in that 2019 to 2020
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
oh my God, we had such a core.
Hey.
Dude.
if you traded Buckner that year, you got Buckner and moved up and got Herbert, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Hey,
Because
I know
Herbert-
Matt's not in here right now. That was
Herbert is
his
Andrew
guy.
Luck
He was
2.0.
screaming for him, yeah.
like
The what ifs
beating-
though, right?
I was beating on the table to go, hey, move up, go get Herbert, go get Herbert.
I'll tell
Because
you
the
what.
Chargers that year were open for business, and like everyone was linking, yo, hey, or the year that Ballard actually loved Jordan Love. Why didn't we go up and get
That
Jordan
was
Love?
another. Well, we were we thought he was gonna make it to where we were
Because
at,
Green Bay
and then
jumped
we got
us and went and got him. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got jumped.
Yeah. Ballard fucked around and
You
waited
know-
instead of going and getting a guy.
You know what was
Like-
crazy though is most people shitted on Ballard for that though. Most people were saying that Jordan Love wasn't that good and
Yeah.
that that he was
So-
gonna make a mistake picking him. So
Technically, Ballard was in the right on that one.
yeah,
Be
Hey.
all things fair.
We're going back to Josh Allen. Ballard called Josh Allen when he took Quentin Nelson at 6 or whatever it was.
Mhm.
I read an article where Ballard said, we don't need a quarterback because we have Andrew Luck. But if I don't have Andrew Luck, I'd take Josh Allen. So
yeah.
Ballard was right about Josh Allen as well. So I got to give him his flowers there
Yeah.
because Ballard, as they say every year, he studies all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do it yearly.
I think that's
Okay,
just
now if
how
Ballard
Ballard is though.
could
Like
his
he's-
flower, now if Ballard could just earn his flowers for being right for us.
Building,
Yeah.
building a competitive roster and not
Well,
being
it-
cheap. That'd be cool.
This is where we come back to with Ballard, right? Like I think all of us would agree he's always been phenomenal with the draft and like scouting
Absolutely.
college players. That's never been a weakness of his,
Yeah.
and that's why people consider him such a genius. I have no beef with that. I agree.
Yeah.
He's great with the draft. He's great with
You won't hear
evaluating
me
players.
say a bad thing about his drafting.
Yeah, it's always comes back
That
to the
2019
offseason
class was
spending.
ass.
Well, yeah, every exception, everyone's an exception, right? But
So was that
but-
Malik Hooker class? Whatever year that was.
But I just go back to it's never been his drafting or his inability to do so anything like that. That's his strong
No, I
point. It's just
agree.
the fact that we can't go get guys or like we always get outbid and consistently every year our MVP player is fucking cap space, dude. The most consistent
it's-
guy on
it's
the roster is $27 million left
literally
unpaid.
Every year we are giving passes for something
I tell you
that
what.
that's happened with this roster. So yeah, man.
But just
Hopefully,
going back real quick though, just going back to who would be the GM if we did
yeah.
move on from Ballard. I don't necessarily have a name in mind, but brother, just give me someone from like a winning organization, like you mentioned, Pittsburgh, Tampa to some extent, freaking Detroit, dude. I'd take somebody from Detroit right now with the culture they've built. Anyone that can just give like a fresh perspective and a new look at this, because I think we have guys, but we just need to add to
Yeah.
and not just carry on
I
doing
agree.
the same shit.
We
You know
have
what I
the
mean?
pieces.
I just hope whatever GM we go to, their ability to draft just doesn't fall off. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know
That's a
we
problem.
all say it on this team. Chris Ballard's mid. Frank was mid. Even Shane Steichen right now is mid. Our team is mid. It's hard to stay mid. So we
Yeah.
just need somebody to add
Get
that
over
other
the hump.
element we're missing to get us over the hump. So
Yeah.
Listen,
I
have
just
said-
hope that doesn't
I
fall
have
off.
said this before, and I will say it again. The perfect GM does exist, but for the Colts, it literally was you take the ability to spend money like Grigson and the ability to draft like Ballard,
And just
and you mix
combine
them
them
together,
into one thing.
and you'd have the perfect Colts GM.
Yeah,
But
there
that
you
doesn't
go.
exist because they don't, for whatever reason, you either get complete opposite ends. You get a guy who only wants a fucking free agency
Can't
and
draft for shit.
can't draft for hell, or you get
The
Polian
guy
and
that
Ballard
sits on his
types
hands.
who are we're only gonna draft players.
We like
and
our
sign
guys.
own and handle it that way and not any other type of way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep it going here, though. Paul Nelson is saying he's a natural man. You can't teach instinct. I
Got McCord.
believe you're talking about McCord.
Yeah, he's talking about
Um,
McCord. And when he was at Ohio State, he made a lot a lot of smart plays, so he's right there. But I just don't think
man.
I don't think he's consistent. I don't know. I didn't watch him enough this year at Syracuse, but when I saw him at Ohio State, he wasn't consistent enough.
I was just about to say, I thought his instincts were terrible in big games. Last I checked,
it's Ohio State. They're delusional. So, like that fan base is delusional. So anytime they say, they hyped up CJ Stroud. Oh, he's the greatest. And now we've seen what CJ Stroud is. He's a bum. So, let's move on. He's an Ohio State QB. He's a bum. Let's move on.
He swept us.
All right, we got River De La Rosa here. Looks like a newcomer as well. Appreciate you coming in. Says, do we forgive Carson Wentz if he ends up winning and gets us a playoff spot? I do want to say this. I have already forgiven Carson Wentz. I thought we should have never ran him out of town. That's just my opinion. If he gets us a playoff win, I might actually start putting my kid back in his jersey.
Yeah, hey.
I always felt like we did Wentz dirty, bro. I think that was all Irsay, and he ran him out of town when it wasn't really his fault. Like, he wasn't God's gift to football or anything.
It was Irsay,
but he was solid.
Irsay thought Wentz was a cancer because he wasn't a like teammate.
He thought his football was like watching people do crack.
It was insane. It was insane, but it was never boring. It was never
he wouldn't
boring.
get the jab, supposedly the stab in the arm. He didn't want to get vaccinated. That bothered Irsay. No, for real, that bothered Irsay because everyone else on the team was vaccinated, and Carson didn't want to get vaccinated. So Carson wasn't there in team meetings all the time, wasn't present in everything.
Crazy time, bro.
And
look, brother, he plays football like I used to party in the 80s. I don't want to.
That rubbed Irsay the wrong way, and Irsay traded him. I know that sounds terrible. That sounds political. I'm just telling you that's literally what came of this.
It was a factor for sure.
The fact that he did not get the shot, as I will call it, keep it PC. The fact that he did not get the shot, so he could be available and be around 24/7, and he had to quarantine that 1 week, so the Colts couldn't use him or whatever the hell it was in that game. Made Irsay all types of mad. I mean, I'm not mad because Washington took on that contract and the Colts didn't have to. So it worked out.
And we saw how it played out. Like, obviously, Wentz's career has gone, but like, what a tornado of a football player, dude.
And to answer this question, hey, if Wentz gets us the playoffs, I'll put that jersey on. I'll go find my Wentz jersey and I'll wear that on here on the show.
He's best friend in my book.
I don't think I got a Wentz jersey, so but
I didn't do that to myself, but
I did. I was drinking the Wentz Kool-Aid. I was like, MVP.
I will say as well, if you've forgiven DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, and a lot of those other guys, then you probably should forgive Carson Wentz too, because all of those guys lost to Jacksonville, not just Carson.
That's a good point.
The problem is, Dave Stewart saying here, the problem with drafting QBs is after AR's first interception, then they'll all bring in drafty bullshit starts.
That's every fan base, but I feel like it's magnified 100 times right now with the Colts because they haven't had a quarterback in a decade, and we finally have one, and now they're all like, oh, he sucks, blah, 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 and they don't want to hear the truth. Like, this fan base has been so spoiled and so naive, to the fact that how hard it is that they don't want to hear, they want to win now. The Colts fans are deprived of winning and winning now, and that's really what it comes down to. They want instant gratification, and that's league-wide. That's a NFL problem. I don't believe that's just a Colts problem.
Bro, but I mean, even without drafting a guy, we already fucking did it. What when AR was playing poorly, you had a whole crowd going, "Oh, fucking
let's get Flacco. Let's go
Flacco in there." Like, Colts fans, bro. Like, he's 100% right. If we drafted a guy,
saw Flacco play, and immediately said, "Oh, my
bad." Get AR back in there. Yeah.
I stopped watching when we put Flacco in. Like, I only watched the Colts for AR this year because I was like, we're going to suck either way. So I might as well see AR play. And when they benched him, I was out. I was like, nah, bro, I'm out.
I watched. You didn't miss anything.
I figured as much. I watched him throw them 8 picks, where the hell it was, versus Minnesota. And I was like, yep.
Oh, man.
Yep. Don't we miss AR yet?
I don't want to go back into it a little bit that much because I know we did kind of comment on it and whatnot. But Dave, I do think this is another GM's problem. I don't think this is something
Facts.
that Ballard should even get
Facts.
into. But I do want to preface this by saying, if your franchise decides to draft another quarterback, because me personally, I think teams need to start planning to draft quarterbacks as a position of need just for backup position.
Look how the
period.
Packers do. Yeah.
But I will say at the same time, that's Anthony Richardson's job, to be perfectly honest with you. If we bring in another GM, he drafts a guy, that is Anthony Richardson's job to keep that other guy off the field. So
Facts.
whether Chris Ballard does that or another GM, I do want to say that's just his job. And I mean, that kind of comes with the territory. So this would be year 3 for AR. So it's his job to keep whoever is that guy
The training wheels are off.
to make him be a forgotten backup. If you go back and think who was Peyton Manning's backup, you probably wouldn't remember most of those guys.
Charlie Whitehurst, clipboard Jesus.
So that's going to be the quarterback's job to keep him off the field, just as any other position, whether it be running back,
Dan Orlovsky.
a DB, lineman, whatever. They got to keep those backups off the field. So, Joshua Merchant is saying here, a lot of people are forgetting that he will have a whole offseason of practice. He didn't get that last year because he was rehabbing the shoulder. We got into that as well. Missed the comment at the time. Paul Nelson is saying here, is this even a good defensive draft? I'm not so sure. I do want to say the first few rounds I think are going to be very good. The back half, I'm not how it's going to
I
get.
believe it's better than this past year's draft. I'll say that much. 'Cause
Last
this
year's
past
draft
year
was all offense, man. It was like
yeah,
crazy.
It was not a
how
strong
offensive.
defensive draft. Like we got the first defender at what pick?
15.
15. Yeah. So I think it's much better than that year. You look at guys like Will Johnson. There's a couple really good DBs. Obviously, Travis Hunter is the big name. So yeah, there's a number of guys, Nick Bonito, that are very, very solid linebackers, defensive backs. And then you always have your D tackles mixed in there. It's a solid draft. I'm not going to say it's the best defensive draft ever, but it's better than this past year's.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely a real good one. Nathan saying here, I like the kid from Indiana. I'm okay taking him as 5th round QB. I believe he's talking about Curtis Rourke. I'm honestly, I do like Rourke, what he was able to do and stuff.
Bro,
like
he's
that.
going to be a
But
7th round draft pick.
I was just about to say, I think that was more on Coach Sig than it was him. So
That's that IU offense.
I do want to say, I like the way the kid played. I like his toughness.
He had a great year.
But I liked his toughness, but I just think that was more Sig than it was him. So,
Curtis Rourke's going to be the first overall pick in the Canadian Football League, so it's not going to matter.
But he ball out there. He ball out.
Yeah. Well, he's Canadian. Like he's going to go over there and make a ton of money over in Canada, being the first overall pick. No way in the world am I playing in the league. I'll go play over in Canada.
Goddamn right.
Chad is saying here faces for the Colts losing out. Yeah, it's absolutely insane to me too.
Come on, man, let's win.
Paul said we've been saying that every year. I'm guessing this is about us getting better. Maybe not sure.
Alec Pierce, baby.
At the time, it could be that as well. Jacob Hildebrand got a few here. He's saying if we have 200 yards of total offense tomorrow, I'll be surprised. Sorry, the offense doesn't work with Flacco.
Yeah, but the Giants don't work at anything.
The run game thing is that doesn't work with Flacco. And see, I will say this: like I remember, if you guys go back to a few episodes ago where we were talking about the Colts run game, I literally actually tweeted this out and tagged the show saying about how I felt like Shane Steichen might have been watching the podcast because he's gotten more creative in the run game. It has been much different. It hasn't just been the straight shotgun dive handoff to JT. So I will say I definitely think we'll have more than 200 yards of total offense. So prepare to be surprised tomorrow. But I think it should look a little bit different. I do get your sentiments because when Anthony Richardson wasn't in and it was Flacco, our run game definitely suffered. But I think this should be a big difference tomorrow.
So it can be like 198 yards to our tight ends, and like you'd be happy.
Man, fuck them tight ends, bro.
I wish I could say yes, but because it's like our tight ends either create an explosive or a dump,
or they
like it could end up being 198 yards, but then it would be like for like 4 catches. It's like, what was the rest of the game?
Also, they haven't done it for 15 weeks, so no, it's too late. It's too late.
I feel you, but I'm just saying, JT didn't do shit for 15 weeks, and then
but that's why I said
out of nowhere
he
and
still had a decent year. He was still at 1,000 yards before he went off last.
he was
last
on
week,
pace.
so-
He was on pace for 1,000.
He was at like 900 something yards. Like he had a good year. It just wasn't what we expected. But he's not in tight end territory, man. Don't do that to Jonathan Taylor.
Jaden Daniels, bro, is he even draft eligible?
Jaden Daniels.
No, he's talking about.
Is he draft eligible? Jaden Daniels,
I believe so.
the kid from Kansas. I thought he's like an 8-year senior. I thought he's like Mr. COVID, and then he got a red shirt.
It doesn't get more draft eligible than that. You grown ass man. You either get drafted or you get a job, bro.
That's like Curtis Rourke. He's the same way. He's like 27, 28.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ash just saying, would you guys re-sign Flacco?
Nope.
No, absolutely not.
Would you guys re-sign EJ Speed?
Not with how old boy played.
I would, but since we
like-
got Carlisle and we got Stewart over there, I would let Speed.
I'll be like, hey, can you play safety? Oh, you can't? Bye. Like,
See ya.
that's where I'm at with it.
Thank you for your years of service, but
Scott
good luck.
Rigsby.
Casey won't win when Carson wins. I agree. Casey won't win when wins.
New commenter, I
They
believe
always
as well. I actually think they could win personally, if I'm being honest. Like Andy Reid is still calling plays. That defense, Spagnuolo's calling plays.
But Wentz is still going to win.
But hear me out, though. Hear me out. Pat Mahomes had Carson Wentz like games this year. Like he has not been the Mahomes that we know this year. And they're
Mahomes.
still 15-1. Like
Mahomes won MVPs and Super Bowls. What's Carson Wentz won you? A torn
won an
ACL?
MVP, and he's got a Super Bowl.
He didn't win no MVP.
Damn
He should've.
near it.
He didn't get hurt. If he didn't get hurt, he was going to
I'm not obviously I'm not comparing Carson Wentz to Pat Mahomes, but I'm just saying like quarterback performance almost doesn't matter.
Wentz is going to win.
It doesn't matter, bro. They have the Black Devil magic working in Kansas City.
The Black Devil match.
Yes, they win no matter what happens, bro.
People gotta stop acting like my guard Carson Wentz is Brock Osweiler or something.
Yeah. Let's put some respect on Carson.
He may not be.
Assweiler was ass. That's why he was Assweiler. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. That's how people acted about him. I'm like, we gotta relax on my guy Carson.
Wentz is entertaining football. All right, it's not good football, but it is entertaining.
Wentz is a great college quarterback if you could play college as a 35-year-old man. But like as a professional, I don't believe that. No, man. Like,
Brandon Whedon might have something to say to you.
Brandon was 32 when he was a rookie in the league, bro. So he played baseball first.
I said he might have something to say to you.
I just can't, bro. Scott, I agree.
Ballard is not going anywhere.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
As well. Dave Stewart saying here, what are your thoughts on Latu? I cry every time I see a Brian Thomas Jr. big play.
Why? I think Latu's going to be really good.
The pressures
will turn into sacks. So, like, he's going to be there.
See, this is my thing, right? Ballard finds gems in like second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, right?
Yeah.
First round picks.
He's terrible at it.
You want to be a day one guy. I
don't really do all that well outside of Big Q until they get to year
2, 3,
maybe
4.
2, 3, 4.
I understand.
I just hate how his picks that need to be elite from the start take years to develop. And I don't get me wrong, I love Latu. I think guy's a worker. I think I think he should have broke out this year. His pressures were there. I just think he just didn't get the sack numbers. I think he could be great next year and probably be one of the best rushers out of that class. I just hate the fact that I screamed my head off all off season for Brian Thomas Jr. Everybody kept saying, DeMarco, we don't need a receiver. Why would we go receiver? Dude is putting up 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's cooking your favorite DB with his shoelaces untied. I just hate to see that he's doing what he's doing for Jacksonville.
Hurts my soul, man. Hurts my soul. LSU guy, by the way. LSU guy. No big deal.
I love
wide receiver university.
I think he'll come up and he gonna start going crazy. But every time I think of the Latu pick, I just think how come Ballard don't just listen to me and draft the running back last year, draft Brian Thomas Jr.? I feel like some people like to come back and laugh at us after draft season, and they say, "Oh, you guys didn't pick any of the guys that Ballard picked or whoever we got," and I'm like, go look at the picks that we said though, and look how they're fucking cooking for somebody else's team.
Hey, we watch college ball now. We
imagine if our 2 first-round picks, right, or first and second, would have been Brian Thomas Jr. and Braden Fisk, defensive tackle for the Rams.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, dog.
Yeah,
come on, dog. Please tell me that I wouldn't have cooked up a draft.
Well, like the year before, who was it? All 3 of us had picks that were taken. The year before, you had Trev had Josh Downs.
Juju Brents, to be fair.
Yeah, you had Josh Downs and Juju Brents taken. Yeah. DeMarco had somebody taken, and Damon had somebody taken. So I mean, like we're not professionals, bro. If I was paid professionally, I would be. If Mel Kiper can do it, ain't no way Zachary couldn't. So, like,
I'll sit up there with a damn 2K on, dude.
That's all I gotta say. If Mel Kiper can be a clown and get paid millions for it, I could be a clown and
I'll do it for way cheaper too.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You give me about 80,000, I'll go do it.
So yeah,
I do want to say though, just as far as Latin, I fully understand where you're coming from. And Brian Thomas is a guy. I love watching him at LSU, but I do think, as most Ballard picks go, a year, maybe 2 from now, we look back and we're like, dude, thank God we got Latu on the team. So I fully understand it is a slow burn. I agree with you. I want my day one guys to be day one guys. But I think the blueprint is there for Latu. I think he's going to be a monster. He's just going to get the word.
Let me say this. I feel like it really depends on the position that you draft, if they're going to be a day one contributor or not. So receiver, 100% agree. Easier translational league, especially with how the college game is. Defensive ends, hell no, bro. Because you're going up against 40-year-old men, like 32-year-old men. It's rare. You got like grown men, unless you're like them freaks like J.J. Watt, year one, day one, Aiden Hutchinson.
It's a rare case where
Aaron Donald. You don't come in and just dominate year one. Like it don't happen. So like the way I always try and give rookie, defensive linemen 2 years. So like next year, if bro don't have at least 8 sacks, time to move on. That's just how I am.
I'm not even that far. I think it's more than just sacks, but I do agree. I think the sacks will be up next year. But I just look at the progression, man.
That's facts, Dave Stewart. I could be Ballard's mailman, 100%.
Yeah, like I said, like I said. So Dave, it's not a real shot at Latu. I just had a whole lot of biased love for Brian Thomas Jr. because I really felt like I thought dude was going to be as good as he was, and I just really got some bias. The fact that
do you think he's a 1 year wonder because that position is notorious for one guys for 1 year wonders?
That.
Like,
he's like
see, the thing is
he's really like that. You're biased, Trev. That's why I don't ask you though.
The thing is he's been doing this. The thing is he's been doing this with Trevor Lawrence playing with a terrible offensive line and Mac Jones. This dude is going to continue to cook up. Now, may his numbers look a little bit different in year 2 because they're going to probably double him and stuff like that. We might see the Jags take Territorial McMillan, T-Mac, from Arizona. So they might help that receiving core to take some pressure off of him. But I think he will continue to do.
So you think he's like that?
You also
he's 100% like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't stop his speed. And his hands have even gotten better. His route running has gotten better.
He wasn't like that.
Is
he didn't have to be like that at LSU though, right? Because he had Malik Neighbors.
So let me pause you though. Let me pause you because one thing I would die on the hill of is I've never been wrong about LSU receiver, and I'm not even biased because what did I say about Keisha?
You said Booty. You said stay the hell away from that kid.
I said he was ass, and he was right. But I called Jabbar. I called Justin. Now, granted, those were easy to call. They were.
But Booty, he been kind of nice in New England.
He started to pick it up. He started to pick it up. But where was he the first 3 years?
I think his problem is he was just a head case.
He is a head. And by the way, sneak peek, Kyron Lacy, a little bit more of the same. You're going to see him on some draft boards.
Hey, is that one that coach told him was uncoachable?
No. He called he called not CJ Daniels. I don't remember who
it was. CJ Daniels.
It was CJ Daniels.
No. It was number 12.
Brian Kelly ripped him and said, "Don't walk away from me, boy. You were uncoachable."
Well, it wasn't Lacy though. It wasn't Lacy, but Lacy's a little bit of a head case.
Not Lacy though, but Lacy, he the one that
Oh,
He shoots
killing
every
me,
DB.
dude.
he's Mr. AK-47 that people going off on. Fair enough.
He'll be great
is
on the
hilarious.
Steelers for a year, and then we'll never see him again. He's
So
that
it's like
kinda
George
guy.
Pickens.
He's
Yes.
that kind of guy.
Yes,
Very
he's that guy.
talented,
Fair enough.
but anyway, I just want
Might-
to say I'm not
He
fully
actually,
biased.
he actually might be a little bit less than George Pickens because George Pickens is really trying to fight you. I think Kyron Lacey is just a bit immature.
He's not
just
as good as
throw
Pickens
up a
either,
little
though.
bit.
He's
Bro,
got too many
Pickens is
drops.
a
He's not physical
scrub.
enough. No,
Like they hate him in Pittsburgh.
no.
Mm.
He's not. He's got the
No,
ability.
no,
He's a
they
head
hate
case.
the stuff Pickens does.
Like
no one
you
can
talk
hate
to a
the ability.
Steeler fan and they ain't got nothing nice to say about Pickens.
Well, that's because he's
Ever.
always doing some dumb stuff, and then his hamstring. He's
Fighting DBs and being hurt all the time. Like,
He just do too much.
I imagine he's probably not fun to
Um,
have in the locker room, but
Yeah, Lewis saying here, hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm here in New York, huge Colts fan since 1995.
hell yeah.
Yeah, we remember you, Lou. You've been here a few times. I will be at the game tomorrow, supporting the mighty Colts. Will be decked out all out in Indiana.
Hey,
Nice
let him
gear,
know.
giving it
Let
to
'em
Giants
know.
fans. Hell yeah, let's go. Appreciate you, Lou. Got to have some Colts
awesome.
fans that still support the team out there.
That's a classic clip from Bill Tobin. Hell yeah, Bill Tobin. His son now runs the Bengals, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's classic.
Lou is
Do you
also
guys
saying
think-
here, do you guys think that they are just resting AR in case we make the playoffs?
No,
I don't think they
No.
can afford to. I don't think they can.
no,
afford
I think
to.
he's actually hurt, and they're
Yeah.
actually being like cautious the right way with AR. Yo, hey, you could probably give it a go, but if you're not 100, I'm not going to put you out there.
And then
because
make
of the
it worse
position
and
you
you got to
play.
rehab
Yeah.
again. No,
Yeah. So we're going to be extra cautious because that's how Shane operates. So you're going to sit out this week. We're going against the lowly Jets, who we
Got
feel
it.
like Flacco gives us an opportunity. Now, do I wish the Colts would come out and say that? 100%. But will they? No.
No, yeah, keep it professional. But I mean, I think it's the right decision. Obviously, we all want to see AR, but how foolish would it be to go against a 2-win team who, once again, is trying to lose football games and risk a guy getting hurt because they do have those. They do have those pass rushers over there.
Because they're going to take
And then-
Shador Sanders.
And then now all of a sudden you have him having to spend an entire.
Hey, with the way they looking in
this
this bowl game right now, they might want to take Cam Ward.
Homie, I'm taking. And then I've been telling people, don't take Miami quarterbacks. We suck. Cam Ward's going to be a bum. Dude, Cam Ward's going to be a bum. Miami quarterbacks are garbage. He's full of
That is
gold, bro.
hilarious, man.
Like,
You
don't
said
do it. Don't do it.
Dude, I really don't like many quarterbacks in this draft at all, bro. Not as a first round
Hey.
pick. I don't.
Levis would be the first overall pick if he came out in this year's draft class. Quarterbacks.
I don't even
on
think
it.
that's a wild take, bro.
Bro,
Like,
I
he
swear
might
on
be
it.
in there.
No,
Outside
I think
Well,
that's
no, they
wild.
still take Shador. They still take
Outside of Shador, who's
But-
the best quarterback, everyone
I
else,
think
booty.
I think if Levis was in this class, he'd be like a 4th round pick.
Bro, homie, no way.
Shador is like great value Caleb Williams, bro. Like he's
But,
not
but,
all that
but still,
either.
but you're putting
Caleb.
Levis behind. You're putting Levis behind Jackson Dart and Carson Beck in this draft. So
I don't know. But
Carson
I'm
Beck
not big
can't
on Beck at
throw.
all.
He's got no
Jackson-
elbow.
Jackson Dart, maybe.
Jackson
And they
Dart,
still will take
maybe.
him. But I do not think we're resting AR in case we make
got
the
swag
playoffs.
back.
I think we're just
Great
putting him,
value,
sitting
Caleb
him
Williams.
because he's hurt. So I think we're just resting him up, and hopefully he's back for week 18.
Oh, Harold Perkins went back to school.
Yep.
What?
Yep, I told y'all. I told somebody
I
that.
thought he was in the transfer portal, dog.
No.
I
Which
mean,
I don't know. I don't know why he stayed at LSU since they want to keep
Come on.
standing him up.
I'd pay him $1 million. I'd pay him
Y'all
$9
need to
million.
Put that man back
I
on
know,
the
I
D
know,
line,
I know,
man.
I know, I know.
Y'all wasting
I-
his talent.
To be
Like,
What's
fair,
he
I thought
playing?
he was going to transfer.
He's playing nickel.
He playing linebacker.
No,
man. I
yeah,
don't know
he's a
why they got
linebacker,
him
but
playing
they drop him
linebacker.
back in coverage instead of
They
letting
need
him
to stop putting him in coverage.
No. Play
That's like-
end. Go seek ball, get ball.
That's
That's
what I've
you
been saying for 2 years, dog. They keep
That's
dropping
what
him
I'm
in coverage.
saying.
We got Micah Parsons on the team, and we don't use him right. Anyway,
Crazy.
my bad.
David said
Drop him
here,
in fucking
Zach,
coverage.
Zach, if Kuiper can do it, you can be Ballard's mailman. I was
Absolutely.
just about to say it's the classic clip from Bill Tobin. He's just
Absolutely.
saying Mel Kiper. Who the hell is Mel Kiper?
I can do that job, man. Come on, now.
I would do that job. Give me.
in a
Better than my
heartbeat.
damn mailman.
In a heartbeat.
Nathan is saying here, I just think next
year
year's
is
make or break it for AR to stay healthy.
That's
I've been
fair.
hearing he's
I agree.
injury
But we've
prone.
been seeing he's.
I mean,
well,
yeah,
not
I
this year.
mean,
He did well.
I
He
mean,
did well.
if you look at Lamar in 20, I think I was just telling Zach about it in 2019 and 2020, he was down the stretch both ends of the year. He was hurt. So, I mean, you
That's
kind of
fair.
get that with running quarterbacks. Obviously, at the quarterback position, you have to be available. So it's definitely gotta be a thing where they start leaving it up to him, not necessarily forcing him to play, because we know how everybody in Indianapolis feels with the Andrew Luck situation and players being forced to play. So, want to give him the option, but I definitely think it's going to be some games where he's
Yo,
going to have
sick.
to tough it out.
ECU and NC State, there was a fight in a brawl game. In a
Oh,
bowl
that's
game.
why they took it off TV.
Yeah,
College football, baby.
big old fight, bro.
That's
Gigantic
college
fight.
Lou is asking, are we from Indy? Only Zach is. Zach, you originally from Indy too, right?
Bro, I was born and raised in Indiana. Do I currently live in Indy? No, I live in Columbus, Indiana. I'm about an hour and
Dog,
probably about
that's
an
still
hour
Indy.
south
That's
of
still
Indy.
Indy.
Like,
That's
but
Indy.
I'm not like Indy. Like, I'm not in the
Indy
donut.
adjacent, yeah.
Yeah, I'm adjacent. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
in the donut, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
was-
just Zach. So just Zach is from Indy.
Yeah, I was born there. I
Myself,
grew up in
Trev, and
Louisiana.
Damon, and Matt. Oh wait, you were born there too, Trev?
Yeah. I was born there. I
Yeah, I
grew
didn't
up
know.
as a child there, and then we moved to Louisiana. And then
Okay.
obviously my guy is from California. Damon's from Texas. Fucking Matt's from what?
Matt's
Jersey?
from Philly.
New Jersey. He's from Jersey.
Philly, Jersey area, metro area.
Sure.
all around,
they
all
just said
around.
I
wanted
can't believe
Perkins.
he went back to school.
Yeah, I wanted Perkins as well. He was one of my top rushers.
What's he doing
I
at LSU?
I wanted him after his freshman year. That's
I
a
mean,
great one.
yeah.
I wanted
Dude,
him
he's
Perkins
gonna
after his freshman year.
Yeah.
That's how good
Time out.
I thought he was.
Whose idea was it to change him positions? Is that Brian Kelly?
No, it
I
was the
don't know,
previous.
but-
It was Matt House, the defensive coordinator. He got fired, and then this past year they were doing a better job, and then obviously he got injured. So it is what it is.
Dude.
Hopefully, when he rehabs, comes back healthy,
Just
we put him back.
play
on the line.
end. Switch him left end, right end.
Hey,
Like,
you preaching to the choir, brother.
how big is he? Is he big enough to play in the league, or is he going to get stuck playing backer?
That's why I say
he's just like a Micah Parsons. So
Exactly,
you got to play him.
Fair
You got to play him
Speed
correctly.
rusher type guy.
He's undersized, but you gotta put him in positions
He
to get
can
after
rip,
the pass.
dude.
Well, hey, when Burrow gets blocking, he's legit. Like,
Oh, so Dave
That's-
Stewart saying here Burrow has lost a lot of games with injury too.
Right.
And this is basically the injury prone conversation. The thing is, Dave, to play devil's advocate here, it's just that the thing is that Burrow made it to that Super Bowl. So nobody's ever going to let that go. The fact that he made it to a Super Bowl. I mean, even this year, he's breaking like all the records. He's been a great passer and everything, but the rest of his team just hasn't been able to keep up. So that's why he's going to get a lot more passes. When you're a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, where everything is a project for you, people are only going to give you so much. So unless he makes a huge run or starts putting up some crazy numbers, the injury-prone tag will never be thrown away from him.
hey, so
You
do
know
you
what,
think he's
though?
MVP this year, or do you think it's Saquon? Because I think it's Saquon.
The
I think it's
MVP?
Lamar again.
Yeah.
I think it's Lamar again.
I think
the
we
Lamar
should have.
back-to-back?
I think we should have co-MVPs, Lamar and Josh Allen.
Lamar, Josh Allen. Yeah.
Oh,
Those would
see,
be the
hell
top
no,
two.
dog. I'm giving it to Saquon.
Well, he's had a
If you-
great year too. It's a
if-
good race. It's a good race.
If when Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards, if he didn't get it, you can't give it to
Yeah,
two
you're right.
quarterbacks. having
Why
great-
can't you give it to Saquon? I would
Well,
argue he had a
also-
bigger impact than Derrick Henry had.
What same reason CMC didn't get it last year? Christian McCaffrey, he was
Saquon
a deserving candidate.
Saquon Barkley's team is loaded. You can't just give it to him.
Yeah,
He's had a great year. I think offensive player of the year.
Exactly.
but he was-
I'd be
but he was wrote
totally
off,
with you.
dude. They said he was trash. Like, injury
Who said that?
done.
No,
said that?
no. Saquon Barkley's only knock was injury prone.
Right, but they said he was
everyone
done with all
agreed
the
the
injuries.
Giants fucked up by paying Daniel Jones and not paying
Sure,
Saquon.
sure.
That the haters say that Saquon Barkley.
The fools, yeah, the ignorant.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
that's all you. That's all you see on the internet. The cesspool.
Well, yeah.
So,
you're
like,
right.
you know-
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to say though, this is an interesting comment about Burrow because I was just thinking about as you were talking. This is like the most, I guess, obviously advanced, medicine, recovery, rehab. Like it's almost there was a point in time before this year started, before the season started, people were wondering if Joe Burrow would even be able to play the same way anymore. You remember that?
Yeah,
People were saying,
I
he
was
might not be
I
able to
was
play
one of those
ball.
people. They were saying
Right?
his wrists
He might be done. He might not be able to throw.
Yeah.
And look at how he's bounced back. So I think
Yeah.
now more than ever, you're able to shirk that like injury-prone narrative just with how guys are able to recover, able to rehab properly. Like these trainers and these rehab centers have seen everything at this point. So I think that's very interesting. It's like you can lose a year, you can lose like 2 years, like Burrow has. And
well, my question is though,
all you got to do is play one full season, and the injury-prone tag will be thrown away.
The question is though, is while Burrow has done what he had to do on his end, I've never met Richardson. I've never met any of those dudes but are they able to hold themselves accountable enough to stick with it and not fall back in those bad habits?
Because the means to do so are there.
Right. That's exactly where it starts and ends. Like, do I believe AR is accountable? Sure. I think we're seeing you're never going to hear me say he wasn't. That's why I think this whole benching thing was fugazi to begin with. Like, I don't know why the Colts did what they did with AR when they talk about
since then, though,
he wasn't locked in.
I think
I would argue that's play calling. I would argue that that's Steichen himself.
I think the thing with Anthony Richardson is this has been his first real year of being a leader, being an actual quarterback. Even if you think back to his 1 year at Florida, it was basically just you're getting thrown in their season. It was like being a freshman that had to learn how to be a leader. Like he had to learn everything, and it was more so learning how to play the quarterback position than it was being a leader. He was going to class. He was trying to be a quarterback. He was trying to be a leader of a team. So it wasn't like he really ever had the chance to be able to learn that. Then he comes into his rookie season like, hey, you're the guy, man. Boom, gets hurt. It's like, hey, you're hurt. You got to be a leader, dude. Like this is your job now. Then he comes back the next season.
He's just learning on the fly.
He is learning how to be a quarterback. Like this is not even just like to be a passer, learning defenses. This kid is learning a lot very quickly. So as much as everybody wants him to be great, I'm not saying anything to you guys. I'm just saying like the fact that like not you guys, but just a lot of stuff that I hear and the stuff that people say. A lot of people expect Anthony Richardson to just walk in one day and say like he's here, he's the guy, like this is everything. Like I've never looked at Anthony Richardson and thought like, yes, this is going to be it right now. I told you guys before, even when he came out that year in the draft, that I felt he should have stayed another year because the kid needs to learn. Like even when people try and argue with me about completion percentage and all that other shit, I don't care what Anthony Richardson. He's not a regular quarterback. He's not even Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, who both had multiple years playing quarterbacks in college. He wasn't even Cam Newton, who was at Florida, who left to go to a JUCO and go back to junior college and then go to Auburn, who's also been playing quarterback since he was like 7 years old. So that has not been any part of Anthony Richardson. When Anthony Richardson was playing in high school, the dude played defensive end, linebacker, safety. He played multiple positions. It wasn't just quarterback for him. So this is literally
it's a lot of learning.
First real year of being, hey, everything that Peyton Manning was doing in his rookie season, like you're not even there yet.
Yeah.
So like the fact that so many people expect greatness out of Anthony Richardson, we may not see it till like you were talking about, Zach, when we get multiple years down the road, which most of the time, does the NFL give you that time? No. Look at Trey Lance. He's already forgotten and gone.
For a while now.
That's why I'm saying if we don't get by week 3 or 4 next year, people are looking at Anthony Richardson.
What is next year's year 3, right?
Yeah. Year 3.
Yeah. I feel like next year's year 3, and if he doesn't do anything by next year 3, he's going to be completely written off. And he's still got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
But that's also the state of the league. Is like, what else can you do? Like, we can't just hope for a miracle at some point. You know what I mean? Like, teams don't have that patience anymore.
Right. But I truly feel like sometimes it takes the guys 4 years. And sadly, AR in that case, it really could take him truly 4 years. And then you really have that 1 year and then you turn around, okay, we got 1 year, let's add a couple pieces, and then we got to pay AR. And his prime is going to be shorter than most because it took him longer to learn. But at the same time, at how raw AR is, it really could be 4 years before you truly start to see the fruits of your labor. That being said, that's why I think Ballard and Steichen are really connected at the hip this time versus anything else.
Yeah, as long as our teams aren't horrible, I think that's what it has to be. You have to be able to see it, and that's why I said because of the way the NFL speed works, that's why I want to see it by year 2 or week 3 or 4, because I don't want us to get to that point where we're gonna have to keep same conversations, dragging things out. And I know everybody wants to win and succeed and see it all, but that's just not the way this situation is going to work, especially with the small sample size that we've seen and what he's had. I just don't want to see him keep staying or going back to the games that we would think are terrible. So,
right.
I think too, just to bring it back to like these next couple weeks, if we can somehow sneak into the playoffs here, man, if we can win out and just sneak into that 7th seed, that kind of playoff experience would be so huge
for everybody.
It'd be so everybody.
Huge. That's why I don't get to lose out shit. That's why
we gain nothing from that, but we gain a lot from even just getting to the dance, right? I have by no means expect any sort of Cinderella run. It's a long shot for us to even make it in. All right, let's be clear. Like, I'm not making any sort of prediction, but if we can somehow make that happen, if we can take care of business and just earn our way in from someone else not being able to do so, dude, that kind of experience for a starting quarterback in the league, it's a different game. It is a different game. It changes a lot, especially for his development and everything, and he can see what it's all about. And also just for the fan base and for the team, like the vets, like Buckner, Q, guys that are just sick and tired of fucking losing all the time. Like, it'd be such a dramatic shift from where this team has been. That's why, man, I just hope we can take care of business to just sneak in somehow.
I got to dip out. I'm going to give my prediction real fast. I'm going to get off here.
Yeah,
I got the Colts winning tomorrow, 24-17. Some way, somehow, the Colts find it. But I got to go take care of some business, guys. So,
for sure.
Be
Appreciate
safe.
you,
Go Colts.
Go Colts,
absolutely. Yeah, Dave. So that was going back to me and Trev's point. I think QB's definitely got it locked in for the 2 picks. I personally, I know everybody's giving their opinion or whoever they got, but I just chalked it up as, when you think about the definition of the MVP, can you tell me that you could take Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen from their teams and you don't drop off the same kind of value? I think you absolutely do. So that's why I said give them co-MVPs and I wouldn't be mad.
No, yeah, this is one of those years where I'd fully be with it.
Yeah, Ash, Jaden Daniels wouldn't get MVP, but I definitely think he's got Rookie of the Year locked up.
Bo Nix made a run. Bo Nix made a real run, but I think Jaden Daniels has done enough to win it.
Yep. Jacob Hillenbrand is saying here, back spasms are no fucking joke. Absolutely. I got 2 herniated discs in my back, so I know what they're all about. I will tell you, though, at his age, I would hope that they'd be a little bit less, but obviously he's an NFL player, man. People got to remember, like, taking these hits that they're taking is like getting hit by a car. So, like, as much
those pads don't do much.
Brush it off and stuff, man. We got to relax here. David's saying here, I think they sat AR because his head was all screwed up. People complained he had no touch, so he started to take some off the fastball. If you remember the Houston game, balls were late by a whisker, and people bitched balls weren't getting there. Everyone was complaining about everything. He was hearing all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I think that it took a lot of load off of him. I think it was smart. And like I said, like when he came back, he looked like a completely different player. Obviously, some of the completion percentage, the numbers and that stuff is still there. But he's looked much better. And I think that, again, this is pretty much rookie season. So if this was his actual rookie season, guess what? All the tweets and comments and stuff would be, he's a rookie. He's learning. This is what we expected. But since he's in year 2, everybody, takes a completely different spread with it. Yeah.
And and even
that's
too,
why
the mental side, bro. Like, he's 22 years old now. Like, I'm a young guy myself.
Yeah, barely 22.
Like, dude, that is a lot of pressure to put on a multi-million-dollar franchise, all dependent on you for everything, man. Like, it's a lot of pressure for a guy. Granted, he gets
for somebody who's never for somebody who's never done it.
Yeah. So I think absolutely there's a mental aspect to all this. So the fact that he's even able to go out and do what he does, like, it's a testament to his character,
Yep. Nathan, Dave got it for you there. We would play the 2 seed Buffalo, which I would love to see because I was kind of upset we didn't get to see. We haven't got to see any of the Josh Allen versus Anthony Richardson matchups. So would love to be able to see that. I thought, Flacco kind of killed that for us when we played Buffalo before, throw the pick 6 to open the game. So would love to be able to see that. Obviously, I don't think we would win. I remember last time we played Buffalo. I was up in the snow. I listened to the whole game. Definitely thought we could have got them then, but hey, I think a playoff run helps everybody in the building. You get back to learning what it means to play meaningful football. So.
Bro, and like I said, even if you get there and you get waxed against Buffalo, like 35-10, they just steamroll you. Okay, fuck it, dude. Like now you see the levels you need to get the levels you need to aspire to, you know? So there is no negative result from getting to the playoffs to me.
I mean, I don't even know about a steamroll, bro. We played them tough, even with there. So I mean,
I just think that team.
I think it would be a competitive game. I think they are very good. I don't think we would win, but I think it would be majorly competitive.
Yeah.
Nathan got his prediction going in here.
I'm with you, man.
30 Giants 0.
You damn right.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally love to feel this way too, but I don't trust Gus Bradley in his defense. But this is what I feel like it should be. I mean, this team, like Travis said, like 3 or 4 times on the show, they are not trying to win. So
they want to lose.
This has got to be the easiest game to make that happen.
Yeah.
Dave said we could have beaten Buffalo last playoff with the Rivers. Yeah,
that was a fun team, bro.
I thought we could have had it. Now I remember I had that Michael Pittman layout picture as my profile picture for probably like a year, just because that's how close we were. If Rivers would have laid that ball just a little bit better to Pitt, we could have got the touchdown.
You know what is funny though? Like just a quick anecdote about how we always we talk about Wentz a lot when we talk about like former quarterbacks, and obviously we talk about how bad Matt Ryan was and everything. I feel like just as a fan base in general, we don't remember that Rivers year enough, dude. That was a fun year. That was a good year. We made the playoffs, damn near won a game. Like that was the most recent success we've had. You know what I mean? Like it was a good year. I will never have anything bad to say about Phil Rivers, man.
I always say I didn't appreciate him enough.
Yeah.
Man,
now that we've seen how bad it could be.
Like I didn't think he was going to be that successful with us because I hate immobile quarterbacks and he really couldn't move. It was kind of like the Rocky type. But Rivers was ahead of his time. I mean, he had all the knowledge of the old school QBs.
He played in the toughest generation of quarterbacks.
I loved the fact that he got us to a playoff run. It was the last time we were really successful. He was so smart. He was really helpful to almost every player on the team.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily appreciate him. I didn't hate him or anything. Then we moved on to Wentz. I was hyped up. I thought Wentz could do more with this team, push us to a little bit. Then we let him go, and then once Matt Ryan jumped on board, I hated Matt Ryan. I didn't want Matt Ryan at all. I thought he was worse than Rivers. I thought he was less mobile.
Ruined his legacy, bro. I don't even like seeing Matt Ryan on CBS anymore, bro. I don't want to hear it.
I don't.
Phil Rivers, I'll listen anytime Phil Rivers talks, dude.
Yeah, so it sucks to hear that the Colts didn't bring him back for that second season that he said he wanted to.
Damn.
Dave Stewart saying we had an idiot jump off sides for that field goal. They were not going to kick, but draw us off sides, and the field goal went down and got a TD. I want to say, wasn't that Kamoko Toure?
Oh, it might have been. It might have been.
I don't remember who jumped offside, but I'm pretty sure I thought it was Toure.
You might. I don't remember now, but that would line up with the time. He was getting more snaps back then. I don't even know where he's at these days.
Yeah, it was Toure. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought I could remember because I listened to the whole game. I tried to watch as much as I could. Didn't want my wife. I didn't want my wife to beat me up. We were out on the snow, man.
Trying to be low key about it.
Yeah. She knew I had it on, but just couldn't watch it. But yeah, man. So it's
time to get back to those days.
Just hoping that Colts fans can just try and hang in there because man, our fan base they go overboard a lot of times, and as much as everybody wants to be successful, whether you hate AR or not, this is going to take some time for him to become who he's supposed to be. I don't know how much patience everybody has for that.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
No, we gotta hang in there to see it through.
I was about to say the worst thing that could happen for us is if we gave up next year, say it's another mediocre year and we give up, and then he goes to another team and just dominates. Dude, I don't know if I'd be able to watch football anymore. So stay the course. As long as there's anything positive happening, just stay the course.
I mean, exactly. As long as we're trending up.
Yeah,
gotta
keep trending up. I understand if it goes poorly, we have to make a change. I understand that. I'm not.
And we also got to keep upgrading the roster too.
Yeah.
Don't pass up on Tyler Warren. Get an elite cornerback. Just keep doing it.
Dave
He
says,
said, I've been hanging there for 60 years. I mean,
God
man.
bless you, Dave. God bless you, man.
All right, man. Trev, what's your prediction? Colts Giants, week 17. What you got?
As long as we run the damn ball, I got us winning. Give me 24-13. We'll make Drew Lock have a good drive or two. They'll kick a couple field goals. But ultimately, we should have the game in control. I don't think we make it to track meet like we did last week. I think they'll probably be a little more tuned into that, even though they're a worse defense. But it's hard to do that 2 weeks in a row. So I don't necessarily see that. I see JT having a good game, though. I'd put him over 100 yards, maybe a touchdown or two. But yeah, I got like 24-13. We get a comfortable win, but probably let them hang around longer than they should. That's kind of how I see it going.
Yeah, I'm going to also say close to about the same. I do think Malik Neighbors is about to cook this zone defense that we run. I think he's about to go for I think he's going to go for about 120 and a touchdown.
Start him in fantasy if you got him.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a big day. But I think the rest of the team is just going to kind of fall off from there. And I think the Colts end up getting the win 28-13. That would be my score. I think it should be
with it, man.
Pretty convincing. Good game. We just got to handle business. So remember, don't forget, we are the Cardiac Colts. Yeah. So don't be surprised if we make this look a lot dumber than it should.
That's what we do best.
I think we should be able to take care of business.
Hope so.
But man, appreciate all of y'all. Y'all sat with us for an hour and a half, one of our longer shows, man. It was a really good one. So appreciate my guys Trev and Zach sticking here with me, hanging in there. But appreciate all of you guys who came in. Happy New Year's, guys.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you on the other side, man. Merry Christmas.
Go Colts, baby.
Colts.
Second down, he fakes the Taylor, fires over the middle, completes. Pittman